Hi, today I will share with you some success mindful secrets that hopefully will benefit you a lot. I would like you to think big, start small, and act like the rich. This is my goal with you today. In this video, I promise you that you will walk away with some very insightful information based on my 30 plus years in business. So the way you think is not by luck. It's all based on who you surround yourself with. Like they so famously say, you are the average of the 5 people that are the closest to you and you spend the most time with. All right, if you know already now that you'd like to know a little bit more about this, there's a link for you right in the description that you can click on. So go there right now. If not, continue watching and I'll teach you more. Today, I'll just share a little bit of what I've learned over the years and what seems to work well for people that I keep as my mentors and also has been working well for me. Since I started out in business, I actually very fortunately read the book Think and Grow Rich, and I learned some of the core principles, if not the core principle, that all the wealthy use, and to this very day as well. The likes of Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, Brian Tracy, Mark Victor Hansen, Jack Canfield, Eben Pagan. I mean, you know, many of the big ones, Joe Polish, they all have one thing in common. They all use the mastermind principle. I'm not going to hammer into your head today about the mastermind principle so much. However, it is a really core concept for where you're going to go and where I'm heading as well. So when it comes to building wealth, you need to honor yourself first. And Jim Rohn, I think he coined the term pay yourself first. And it's really true. And there's many ways to do that because we keep on giving of ourselves. And that's really important because the more you give, the more you receive, and not necessarily always back from the same channel. Now, one of the key things that I've learned and seen in my mentors too, they all have great discipline. They stick to core things that they do consistently. And it's like the rabbit and the turtle, right? The slow and steady wins the race, and consistency more than anything. And having systems in place is really key. So one of the systems that I put in place really early on in my career was to form a mastermind team or a support group around me. What does that mean? Many people think like, oh, mastermind team, oh God, I have to pay a lot of money to join a group or something. That's not always the case. Sometimes it is. I'm in a couple of mastermind groups right now myself that I paid thousands of dollars to be in. And I'm in 2 other groups that I started myself and founded myself to be helping other people and myself to take it to the next level. And that's exactly what I did in the early days. Back in 2004, for example, I built a mastermind group with another friend of mine. And that's another trick too, by the way. You want to do it with somebody that you know, like, and trust. And he was actually a business friend in this case. I'm not getting into details here, but basically we started our own mastermind group that is still alive to this day now, plus over 20 years and going. We just had our meeting last Wednesday now before we're all going on a little vacation for the holidays. Anyways, so you want to start small when it comes to your mastermind. You want to start with an intimate group. And the way I build mine are from 4 to 6 people. Again, I don't want to go into too many details about that here now because that's not really what this talk is about. So Jim Rohn said something very important. Wealth responds to discipline, not really what it is that the income you're taking in. And that's how he breaks that down into starting with small, consistent steps that you do over a longer period of time. And that is what's going to win the race. Another mentor of mine, Mark Victor Hansen, he's big on thinking big, no pun intended. And I've been to many seminars with him myself, and he actually endorsed one of my products, my RipCard. Back in the day. And one of the things he liked to do is like if you told him about something you're working on, he always had a unique knack to plus the idea. And what he meant by that and what it was basically taking my ideas like, hey, have you thought about this? Or what about that? Or what about this? And I was like, whoa, didn't even think about that. And I kind of get goosebumps as I'm thinking about it because I also made one of his business cards. But one of the things he did was to take things to another level. And that's kind of like him and I had like a personal mastermind going together there, like brainstorming together. But a mastermind is way more than just brainstorming. It's about meeting on a consistent basis and helping each other with all kinds of different problems, not only business, personal stuff too. So starting small and staying consistent is very important. And you kind of want to start studying what the rich people do with their time and how they focus differently. That is one thing that I also really noticed. And I started to implement other techniques into my daily routines, such as getting up early in the morning. Right now, I'm on day 57 today of getting up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning, every morning, Monday through Friday, sometimes on the weekend too. I get up and I do a certain ritual. I have 6 different things that I go through, which has to do with affirmations, meditations, reading, writing, exercise, and the likes. So the power of daily habits are so important. And I have other habits too, which has to do with my mastermind. So we meet on a consistent basis. Now, here's what happens with that. I've noticed now since the miracle morning, since I started, I got up at 5 a.m. every morning in the beginning. And I said, well, I don't have to get up at 5. I can get up at 6, or I can get up at 5. And I noticed that I started getting so much done. But what I wanted to get to here is like, I started creating momentum for myself. I started moving. You know how when you're going to start a ship, a big ship to go out of the harbor, it takes a lot of power in the beginning to get going, right? And that's why it's so important to have a support network around you, or somebody that's cheering you on, or somebody that you can cheer on, and you get that feedback going right there. So you belonging to a group, either online or in person or what have you, or doing something together with somebody makes all the difference. And that's also why I feel that I've thrived in team sports throughout my life as well. So that's really, really key. And remember another thing that's also very important. Money follows value. So what it is that you're ever going to teach or sell or what have you offer to somebody, it must be of value to them. That is really key. And that's one thing that I'm digging deeper and deeper into. How can I provide the most value possible? And you see many people today, they're giving away courses and lectures and seminars for free. And obviously they have something else to sell as well, but that's going to come naturally if it is for the person that they're giving it to. So the first thing you need to find out is what big problem are you solving, and who are you solving it for? So you can attract that person to you, help that person, and give in advance. And then if it's meant to be, that's when you'll end up doing business with them. That's how it always works. And more so than ever before, because now we have the ability to do it in a digital format that we can reach many more people and provide information a lot faster. So it's an amazing industry we are in right now. So I want you to ask yourself, what value can you give? What value can you give to the one you are seeking to help with your unique gifts and passion and insights? And many people say, oh my God, if I give everything away for free, what am I going to sell them? Now, here's the funny thing that happens with that. As you start giving away and you start growing and constantly growing, right? That's key. You will reach more and more higher level and go deeper and deeper with your message. So those things are actually, you're going to realize it once you start doing it, because you want to give away the most valuable stuff you have, because they're going to think, oh my God, if Alf's giving away this, I can't imagine what the paid stuff is going to be like. And guess what? You are going to be able to reach that level because you constantly are in the trenches, finding out new techniques and new things that work. So that's actually how it all comes together very beautifully. So we talked a little bit about paying yourself first in the beginning. I actually read a book, and a big shout out to Mike Michalowicz, who wrote the book Profit First. It's a beautiful book, and it's really targeted on small entrepreneurs, meaning small entrepreneurs that could be millions of dollars still, right? But people like you and me, people that are, starting a business, want to make something happen, want to make a change in their life. They're tired of the 9 to 5 and working for somebody else, making somebody else rich. Why not make ourselves rich, right? He actually challenged the regular accounting formula, which is like sales minus expenses equal profit. So you sell something, you deduct your expenses, and then whatever is left over is your profit. He flipped that whole thing around. What Mike Michalowicz did, he turned that whole formula upside down. He says sales minus profit. Now you take out your profit, you take your sales, then you take your profit, what you're going to pay yourself first, equals expenses. So let me say it again. Sales minus profit equal expenses. Not the other way around, where you say sales minus expenses equal profit. So now you pay yourself first, which is a beautiful thing. And that's what you always should do, because you should be paid. You're working so hard. So why shouldn't you take care of yourself first? You need to do that. So you factor that in. And there's a couple of magical things that starts happening then. When you realize like, oh my God, my expenses are too high. So you have your sales, you learn to narrow down or minimize your expenses so you have more left over for profit. That doesn't happen so easily or automatically in the other way the accounting formula is. So I'm kind of giving away a little bit of the secret of the book there. So my question for you today, how can you put yourself on the right path? What can you do right now to set yourself free, to avoid the 9 to 5 and work for somebody else, make somebody else rich? Why not make yourself rich? And even more importantly, why not make yourself happy? Because the more happy you are, the more excited you are, the more into your own business you are, the more successful you will be. And secondly, you need to surround yourself with people that got your back, somebody that you got their back as well, because that's what happens in a small group setting. And this is really key that I want to take with you. Those two things, like I want you to think about what can you do right now to set yourself free? What consistent action can you take every day or at least 5 times a week? Ideally more. What can you do right now to start that? And that's what I constantly keep on bringing into my own life too, because you have to live like a flower, like I said. A good friend of mine, Pepe, who was an 84-year-old, very dear friend of mine from Mexico, he said to me one time, Alf, what do the flowers say? I was looking at him, what are you going nuts? It's like, no, Alf, what do the flowers say? And I go, Pepe, what do you mean? I mean, Alf, what do the flowers say? So I said, well, you tell me. I told him eventually after the third time, I was kind of getting a little pissed. He says, Alf, they say, I love you, I love you, I love you. And what he meant by that, and what I took away from that, is that a flower, once it keeps on growing, it keeps on living and giving back to the universe. Once it stops growing, it dies. So you have to live like a flower. You have to always grow, always learn new things, always challenge yourself, because that's what makes the world go around. And we're in some exciting times right now with AI and all this stuff coming in, and it's going to change the economy, and so many opportunities coming in. Many people are afraid of it. I'm extremely excited about it. Of course, there are things we need to watch out for in that industry as well. However, I'm extremely excited. So anyway, I'm going to finish off with this thing. What are you going to do right now to make a change in your life? I'm here to support you. We are here to support you. Comment below. Maybe you'll meet somebody here in the comments that you click with, and maybe I can help you, or maybe somebody else can help you. I don't know. I'm certainly willing to give it a shot. Please learn about me and what I'm doing, but most importantly, comment below to see if you can get some help or get some insights from somebody here, and I'll see you on the other side. And here's my famous high five, and I'll see you on the other side.